It is an honor to be here, and I want to thank JD and the DASER program for asking me to be here, but more importantly, to bringing art and science and different views to disasters and resilience. Like JD said, I do run a few things here. One is the Disasters Roundtable, and another is a brand new program we're starting to stand up on risk and resilience and extreme events. And so in this space, people often ask me if I find this work to be depressing. You know, as we look around of all, and we analyze, because we are scientists, all the different ways the sky can fall, and then, of course, dealing with the human toll when it does. And to that, I say, well, yes, they do represent tough times, but disasters really do bring people together. They motivate people to do better the next time, right? Everyone has a role to play. We heard from some of the introductions that people are working with children and artists and scientists, so everyone has a role to play in doing better for the next time. And I think in the final analysis, maybe because we look at the ways the sky can fall, I'm always looking for the silver lining on that falling sky, is that these can be quite empowering. And as we were listening in the beginning and surprised by someone running with a noisy backpack on, there can be some expected things too. So it's a topic of immense interest to a broad and varied audience of people, including young people, which I find extremely exciting. Here, the Disasters Roundtable website is the second traversed website in the institution, or something like that. And it's not because the website itself is great. I know because I have a hand in designing it. But it is because the topic appeals to a lot of people, and people see it's very important. So one example, I'll just go to this varied audience idea. One example is we launched last year a big study on disaster resilience. And as a moniker of how much is a unifying topic, we had 10 federal agencies agree to work together and fund this study. Now, anyone here work for or with the federal government? Anyone know what it takes to get 10 agencies to agree to do anything, right? So this was a real big milestone just right off the blocks. And then as the study came out, we came up with these 4 nice pillars of measures and risk communication and working together and data exchange. And these are the 4 basic things of what resilience can be. And people were like, not only did we like your study, but we want you to do more with it. The Koshland Science Museum, one of our in-house partners, said, we're going to do a whole program on disaster resilience. And they reach young professionals, students from high school. It's like 35 or 40 years old. That's their target audience. And they were like, we want to work with this new program on resilience and risk and extreme events to build this program to reach this broad audience. Now that's huge because here in this building, we like to talk to ourselves a great deal. So the fact that we can get into the Koshland Science Museum, which has 1.5 million young people looking at their interactive exhibits, and the National Building Museum across the street is really exciting. It's also evidenced here. Just in the few introductions we heard, that's one of the most diverse audiences I've seen in this building in a long time. So it's very, very exciting that you're taking on this topic. So in this new program, we're trying to use science to get disaster resilience into every community. And it's great here that the artist community and the science community, the musicians, other sculptors, and I think whoever else is here tonight wants to be a part of this because we really need you. I'm an engineer, so when people say, you know, how do you communicate risk? I can do it in p-values, R-square values, return intervals, statistics, and everyone's like, what is she saying? But when we get people together who can translate that quantitative information into imagery, into music, into sculpture, into education, then we're starting to build a resilient America through resilient communities. And that's very exciting. And I'm very impressed to be standing here before this panel, Jim and Judith and David. I mean, these experts here that we'll hear from in just 1 minute embody the idea of expanding this disaster communication and conversation about resilience, preparedness, in new, creative, and novel ways, visual ways, technological ways, communication ways, and cross-disciplinary ways. And I think that is where there's a lot of richness and a lot of new opportunities to build this resilient community across this country and around the world. So I say, let's start. I want to welcome the panel here to the National Academy of Sciences. I think that we will be very surprised in what might unfold here tonight, and we should always have our ears open to the unexpected, because there is where we can bring to light art, science, communication to disasters and resilience. Thank you.